Yo, what's up, Internet? Jesse McDougall here at the Martial Arts of Money. Book review today by Jew Schumacher. Is it Shoemaker or Schumacher? I don't know the guy. Yeah, so this one's here. Nothing's changed but might change. The Shoe Money story. This is an internet entrepreneur, very successful. I think there's 450,000 copies of this book sold, and it's just his book. Like, he made it. So it's pretty awesome. So this is definitely a good story for really just seeing how someone kind of was an everyday person who, has made a lot of money with the internet economy based on just pure hard work, being stubborn and not willing to conform, always looking for other angles, just really hustling, but actually developing your skills, thinking outside of the box and putting in the work. That's what people don't understand. And in his book, he says, there's one quote you might see a internet multi-millionaire overnight. He's like, but it's actually 3 decades that it took me to get to this position. So there's a lot you can relate to in here, especially with the internet economy and entrepreneurship and the way the world is going. It's just an ocean of opportunity for someone to make money, right? So this is a very good book to read, and it was an easy book to read too, because he's witty, he's being himself. He talks about his ADD brain and his brain going 1,000 miles a minute, and you know what, dude? My brain goes the same way. My brain operates the same way, and I do kind of understand what he's talking about with dealing with other people and just being different. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I think it's really important to recognize what your strengths are. So when people say like ADD brain or hyperactive energy, oh, do you need pills or something? People say to me sometimes, like, no, dude, I don't need pills. I'm just fucking dialed in, right? I'm happy to be alive every day that I get up. I'm doing what I want, building, in charge of my time. And, it's a pretty powerful thing. And until you're at that level, I find it really hard to relate to, because I used to hear people talk like that before. And I was like, yeah, whatever, dude, you freaking hippie kind of thing. But no, just over the years, just keep improving on your self-character. But you got to put it in the work, and you can't lie to yourself, right? You got to look at yourself in the mirror every day and have an honest conversation with yourself. Let's see what we got here. I highlighted quite a bit of stuff in here, so I'll just read some of the cool stuff I found. The golden nuggets. Oh, Jeremy, please don't sue me. I'm not trying to give your gold away, bro. I'm just trying to pass along the good word and make some more sales for your book. I have no financial incentive from doing this. I'm just passing along the good word, one entrepreneur to another. Mind you, you're a lot more successful than I am in the money world. Well, that's fine. I learned to really believe in myself and my ideas. You can only bet on yourself and what you can control. So focus on that and stop playing the lottery. So I own an email marketing, I own the email network. So I can send offers on my emails. People click them, they buy them. I can't believe how many people buy lottery type stuff. There's just a couple of these campaigns, Lotto Dominator and Lotto Crusher. This guy made this secret up for this. Shut up. You won the lottery 3 times. And people buy it, man. People buy it. So that's what they spend their money on. That's fine. That's fine by me. I'm just going to rake in the cash. Okay. I've since stopped wishing and praying and hoping for things to make me happy. Instead, I work for them and earn them and then enjoy the shit out of them. I will never trust anyone, even a deity, to do that work for me ever again. Kind of a lesson here. I put a lot of trust into my team members. We'll see. Never waited for anything to happen to him. He never consulted God or wife or colleague or son. He just went out and did it. I admire that. That was his father. His father was a beast. Have to give a whole lot of shit about the end product. Yeah. He's still ticking as one of the oldest living heart transplant recipients on the planet. That's his dad. His attitude is, I'll do whatever the fuck I want to. We're both get your hands dirty if that's how the job's going to get done kind of guy, which I like. I learned a hell of a lot from my dad. He taught me to never leave anything up to chance. I saw that there was no safety nets. I learned that you can't really trust anyone. Still, he had a soft spot in his heart, and he couldn't help himself from putting a lot of faith in other people. And every single time he did that, they fucked him over royally. So that's interesting. Interesting. My family and I were fat because the way we lived. Yeah, so this guy, Jeremy, was like super fat his whole life, and he admits it. He's like, we're fat because we ate like fat people. Like, what do you think's gonna happen, right? Oh, it's my genetics, I was predisposed. Like, no, dude, look what you're eating. Like, you don't need to eat that. So that's why you're fat. When you are big and fat, you have nothing to do. You have to do everything bigger and better. So, oh man, this is kind of funny. I highlighted here just because it was jokes. He's like, you know the joke about fat chicks? It goes like this. Why do fat chicks give the best blowjobs? Because they have to. Come on, it's funny. It was in his book, so that's why I read it. I'm a natural giver. I like helping out and making them happy. And I really like that about myself. I have a sick skill set. I can understand and write computer programs in any language. I can create websites in my sleep. I administer DNS, virtual hosts, email servers, load balancers, and anything in between. Being fat gave him an edge. Learned to be a giver. I developed an insane work ethic. I'm brave and confident. If you're going to fuck with me, you'd better do your worst, because I will certainly be doing mine to be on that. He talks about, in affiliate marketing, man, there's vultures. They just come out and see you. They're just like, why are you suing me? Just leave me alone. I'm just building a business, right? So this is some of the stuff in entrepreneurship when you get off on your own that, hey, I work hard and everything's going to be good. And no, you got some other people come and try to sue you and take your coins out of your battle chest that you've worked super hard for to get. Okay, and that sucks, and that's just the way it is, and that's why they talk about kind of the law of the jungle and stuff like that in entrepreneurship. It's more fun to be a pirate than to join the Navy. That's Steve Jobs' quote. Born with an appetite for speed and risk and an inability to follow the rules. The minute you started to explain the game, my brain would beginning mapping out the angles to get around the rules. And how could I get to the end faster than you? And guess what? I would win, not by luck or skill, but because I would figure out how to bend the rules. I don't do rules. This is like strategic mindset. A genuine in-person endorsement is the best kind of ad that bribery, money can buy. A genuine in-person endorsement is the best kind of ad that bribery, money can buy. So word of mouth, good referrals, right? Operating in a warm market. I just explained that to a friend last night. Generating sales through a cold market or generating sales through a warm market from people that you know. You have a lot more success from getting referrals. Hey bro, do you know anyone does this and that and yak, and this and the other thing? You have more success going through that way than picking up the phone. Hi, I'm John selling you a paper cup. Get out of here, John. I don't know you. I don't want to talk to you. When someone else tells your story, it's 1,000 times more powerful and profound than it could ever be if you told it yourself. It is possible to be reckless and rebellious and smart, Thank you, Mr. Schumacher. Kind of reminds me of myself. Be reckless and rebellious and smart. I like it. When you are that focused on anything, you can become great at it, I think. When I'm focused, I become best. Me too. There's only one place in the world where I get 100% focus, and that's when I'm training MMA and to defeat human beings and doing martial arts. It's the only thing. But it's a pretty rough sport, and it doesn't really reward the athlete very well. First, do whatever you're good at, no matter what it is. Just do it and get really good at it. Second, Use your talents to help other people when you can. Lastly, if you do walk out of an almost being killed situation, well then, you're walking out with an incredibly awesome story that you definitely need to include when you're writing a book. I've got a lot of those. It's very true. But first, you need to become a multi-millionaire before you can write a book, as far as I'm concerned. A book like this, that is. You can write books on other kind of stuff. Favorite parental policies was, if get yourself into, you get yourself out of. Yeah. Every company I can think of was built by people who didn't play by the rules. They all saw an angle and took a risk and were willing to do what others were not. If you don't push yourself, especially when you're scared, then you'll never be the guy who makes it. I gotta be honest with you, man. I'm pretty scared right now with my internet business. I'm not making much money this month or last month due to my MMA fight I just had. So, you know, you only have so much time and energy to put in. So, a little bit scared, but just keep going. Especially because I'm all on my own too. I learned that the story always sells the product. That people buy shit when they believe it will make them better or happier. It's that simple. I understood that right away. So when you're selling something, tell them the story, just talking. But if it's going to make someone's, give them time, make them happier or make them better, probably going to buy it. Okay, so I read this book. I think I read the first 170 pages in the first sitting, and then I finished it the second day. It was a very quick read for me, especially because I feel like I have a similar brain to Jeremy, where our brains are just spinning. So for me, I was able to read his words quite fluently, I'll say. He does go off on side tangents and stuff like that, and I really admire him for writing the book this way and just being himself, because I do the same thing when I'm talking, right? When I'm talking to people, I'm not, my communication skills aren't perfect. I'll break down the communication, I'll go off on some tangent here, but it's also called free thinking. I'm also starting to develop the skill set where I can notice when other people are going off on tangents, and I don't try to pull them back in, I let them talk through it, right? Because when someone's going off on tangents, they're thinking about an idea in their head typically that they haven't communicated before. And so they're creating new energy, right? So I allow people to talk themselves through that. You have to consider what your time is worth. I'm a cowboy, I don't give a shit. Linux operating system, that's the backbone of every server. Got a Linux manual there, been doing Linux, server administrative stuff off and on for quite a long time, but I definitely want to grow my skill set there. But at the same time, what is my time worth, right? I could hire a Linux guy for like $20 on Upwork to do a task for me, but yeah, so I constantly juggled that. One of my gaps is, I've got too many skills. I don't want to be the best at everything. I'm just really interested in multiple things: computer science, guitar, email marketing, internet, accounting, history, reading, and that's okay. That's okay. I don't care if I'm not the best at one thing, and I'm just pretty good at a lot of things. That's what they call a renaissance man, a man with many talents, and I'm cool with that. I'm cool. That works for me. That way I find I can be in any situation, in a social setting or a business area, and I can add value to any conversation, which I think is quite valuable. My success also had to do with me always finding ways to get better at what I was inherently good at and what I enjoyed. Exactly. I just want to learn. But then I was like, wait, if you haven't seen The Matrix, then you have bigger problems in your life. Start with the fact that you're probably a douchebag. Yeah, watch The Matrix, man. It's like, if you haven't watched The Matrix and you don't get it, and you think, oh, The Matrix sucks, you're a sheep. You're a consumer. Your brain isn't awakened. Yeah, so if you don't like The Matrix, or if you don't get it, if you're not intrigued by what The Matrix movie is about, you have a small brain. You have a closed-minded brain. And that's okay. You don't have to stay that way forever, but you have to open up your brain and learn new things, learn in new directions. which I find is quite challenging for a lot of people. I love learning new things in new directions. However, you only have so much time in the world, right? So I'm always trying to look at how to accelerate my growth rate quicker. And I need to apply that instead of me trying to learn new skills, apply my growth rate into my businesses. I have no problem showing everyone everything I know and bragging about it to everyone who will listen. That's just what I do. I can't help myself. Good on you. Good for you. Be yourself. Why would you be anyone else? Someone's got a problem with, that's what I talk to some of my business friends. I'm like, no, man, I want to celebrate our wins together. Call me up and tell me, yeah, bro, I just, I closed a $2,000 deal or something, right? I just had a wicked month. I just killed it. That's fucking deadly, man. That's awesome. Keep going, bro. Blah, blah, because that, that fuels me too. But I find, I don't know, a lot of places they don't really want to hear about, or I don't know, I just pick up on other people feel threatened when you start talking about positive things or your wins because of other people's insecurity. It's like everyone's insecure. So the more we talk about our insecurities, the more secure you become about them. It's really that simple. Okay, 16 minutes already, dang. I always give all my best shit away for free. The thing is, all people really want, any knowledge about web traffic and purchase patterns and sales psychology and algorithms is a magic pill for making boatloads of money. That's the mistake they make. They think the red pill is a magic pill. It's not. All I can offer is the truth and nothing more. All I can tell you is what I do and how it works. All I can tell you is that you have to be willing to do what others are not willing to do. One of the phases I'm in my internet company, nobody's going to do my work for me. So a lot of my friends, I make the least amount of money out of all my friends. Every one of them. I hang out with them and they have tons of cash. And I don't. So, but I'm at that stage where it's just, I have to do the work, right? So no matter, you can find all the answers and this and that, but if you're growing your business needs time. It does. There's only so much you can do in a day. You make money by doing things you're good at, that you stay with, that keep you interested, that capture your imagination, and that sometimes push the boundaries legally, ethically, and morally. I like money. I like making boatloads of it, but I also like what I'm doing, and I like to work hard and put my everything into whatever it is that I'm doing. Okay, we are 110 pages. Do what you are good at until you are the best walking face on the earth. That's only one thing. For me, I don't want to do one thing. I just don't. I don't. Just about every person you meet is never completely happy. They're always looking for more, and the reason they are perfect consumers. The more you want, the more you can manipulate. Pain. You have a huge problem right now. Potential. You are dying to know. What is this? I think this is the 3 sales things. Yeah, I'm a marketer. Trust me, I'm not lying to you. I know what I'm talking about here. I've made millions of dollars selling people stuff on the internet. I have a model, how it works, and what I always show you. I call it the 3 Ps. The formula is pain. You have a huge problem right now. Fear. Fear works online, man. Anything with fear, boom. You have to tell the person, here's your problem. And then potential. You're dying to know that there's a way to solve this problem, right? Here's your problem. Here's the solution. Buy this. And proof. You're in luck. There is a solution. Just look how it worked for Jimmy. That's the sales formula, which is cool. Everyone is looking for the product that is going to be the real magic bullet. There's no magic bullet. And this is the problem I find with, someone actually posted on Facebook the other day, some guy I do jiu-jitsu with before. Sorry, I forgot what it was. Basically about tactical conversations versus strategic conversations. And one of the challenges I have is having tactical conversations with people. Tactics bore me. Strategy excites me. So when it comes to the magic bullet, and especially weight loss blows my mind. Like, people want the one pill. If I have this one pill, this will fix all my weight problems. It's like, no, it won't, man. I have bags of pills that I take every day. and plus all my food. It's like, it's the time you need to prepare 3 healthy meals minimum to put in your body, and then consistently do it for 5 months, right? And you got to know what you're talking about. You got to know the numbers, like the basic math of nutrition, the carbohydrates, the fat, the protein, how they work, like the number of calories, like what you need. Like it really isn't that hard. But you got to pay attention to the details. But the challenge I find is not everyone's in charge of their time, right? Because they're always working for the man, paying the rent or the death contract mortgage. Only so much money to go around. People in jobs, they only give you enough to survive, right? They give you just enough to survive, just enough so you won't quit. The thing about me is that I'm a crafty dude, and I know what I'm always going to find a way to get through all the shit and win. That's the great thing about me, maybe the greatest. But having good friends can also come in handy. The thing that all tech geeks know is that we know a lot more than everyone else. You just whip out the lingo and you're elevated into a super realm that any mid-level HR person can't understand, and you're in. It's true. To tell a story, well, you have to go all in. It's more fun to sit at my desk and screw around online than deal with these idiots. I find that very challenging. I kind of agree. I'd rather play on my computer than have to deal with, like, I listen to what people have to deal with during the day. Like at work, I'm like, yeah, will not. I don't have time or patience for that. Like, no. You know, when I do work, I'm here to do a job. I'm here to contribute to the team. That's all I care about. I don't got time for your feelings, or you getting butthurt or this or that. Like go back to high school or some shit, or deal with that somewhere else. We're here to get a job done and build a successful team, a successful business. There's nothing more helpful in a time of desperation than a friend who has been there before. Interesting. Yeah, I was just talking to a guy who reached out to me. He does what I do, email marketing. And he was in a similar situation I was in a year ago. And a year later, he made $1 million in revenue from just him. Well, that's pretty cool. Like a 60-70% profit margin. She made me feel like I could do whatever I wanted. She made me feel like there was so much potential in my future. And that is a good woman. If you're not scared shitless, you're probably too comfortable. And if you're too comfortable, you're not living the life you could be living. I will not live with regret. I'm pretty comfortable, but I'm also pretty uncomfortable. So thank you, Mr. Schumacher, for all your wisdom. Understanding women. The point is to remind you how much effort it takes to make it big. This is what people don't understand, man. They don't understand how much work it takes to make it big. Of course, you need to start by thinking big, but then you have to back up the ideas with good old-fashioned time and sweat. Too often we sit around with our thumbs up our asses waiting for a settlement or winning a lottery ticket or an inheritance from a long-lost great aunt to cash rescue us from our problems. A few lucky ones get to live out this fantasy, but the majority of us, myself included, me too, have no choice but to work for what we get. It's pretty interesting living in Vancouver, man. Like, it's second and third generation money here, right? So listen to the conversation with people. Like, they openly talk about the inheritance they're going to receive. It kind of blows my mind. That is really better to share your shit than to be a selfish jerk. You hang on long enough to ride the big wave and then cut out before it gets dicey and desperate. I'm always okay with retiring from something. That's because I always know there's another angle around the corner for me to find. I needed to understand everything about the phone and how it worked. I published it on a place called Howard Forums, and still people couldn't seem to figure it out on their own. Since my name and contact information was on the forum, I began to get direct requests from people wanting me to reformat their images for them. I had no problem with that. It was fun until I started getting between 50 and 100 emails a day. That was overload. But I absolutely needed a more efficient process of reformatting, so I wrote a program to do it automatically. Okay, so we're almost done here. Let's see here, 25 minutes. The dumbest business mistakes I've ever made were because I did them from the heart. Yeah, there's no room for emotions when you're coming to the matrix. Always stand up for yourself, stronger yourself with people more successful than you. Don't be shy to ask for pictures with a celebrity. Don't be embarrassed to use everything you have access to for leverage. If you're afraid of looking stupid or silly, you need to have a few near-death experiences and stop taking yourself so seriously. Get what you can and then use what you got. Boom. There's more in here. 25 minutes, gave enough in the book away. There's a very practical story, person to follow. I don't know if he's one of the best internet marketers of all time. Like, I just don't know. That's what he says in here. He's quite, what's the word, brash. Like, he's just talking about his wins and stuff like that. So I don't really know if he's the all-time marketer, like one of them. Who knows? Doesn't matter to me. All I know is there's something that I learned from this book that I'm going to keep applying into my business. And it was very nice to read, Jeremy. A lot of your mentality and your thought process reinforces stuff already existing in me, stuff I'm already doing. I use this book as kind of a compass to show that I'm on the right track and just to keep going. You have to keep going. You just do. Peace. Any questions? Let me know. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks, guys.